This is Dré Bly, UNC Charlotte's coach. This is the NFL Player Second Acts podcast.
What's up, everybody? I'm Peanut Tillman, and this is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. I see you smiling at me. This is my guy Rome. So, why are you smiling?
I just feel like creepy because we have a new podcast guest, and this is his first podcast. So when you start counting weird ways, you kind of make him nervous. That's all I'm saying. I'm trying not to make my guy. I know you are.
I do it a different way.
Well, first of all, hey, you know what? Let's thank the Panthers organization for allowing us into the studio. Shout out to the NFL, Carolina Panthers, for having us in the Panthers Vision Studio.
Hey, man, I'm excited about this next guest. I was a fan of his. Played 11 seasons in the NFL. All-Pro corner. Won Super Bowl 34 with the Rams. Got into coaching with the Lions. And now he's a defensive analyst with UNC Charlotte. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Dre Bly, to the show.
What's going on, man? What's going on, Pete?
Dre Bly's like the original ball guy. What he does is go get the ball.
Original ball hawk.
I'm not going to say original. Prime is the original.
Okay.
I would say everything that I learned, everything that I was able to do, I think Prime was my guy. He on my mountain of guys I look up to. And so I wanted to be like Prime. So, that's how I played the game.
Now, you want to be like Prime. You segued me perfectly into my first question, which is something that I did not know about you, was that you were a baseball guy. All right, that you were in your college, because you played at college, all right?
UNC.
Yep, UNC, you played 5 games.
Right.
Batting average of 250. You were 2 for 8.
Yeah.
1 triple, 2 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. Yeah. You had 5 strikes and 0 walks. 100%. You know what that tells me? That you are going to do.
I'm swinging. I'm swinging. Coach, I'm swinging.
I'm here to do one thing.
Swinging by Bly.
So let me tell you the story. So I went out. So let me tell you. So I played 4 sports in high school. I was equally recruited in football, in baseball as I was in football.
Yeah.
And I actually had about 3 or 4 private workouts before I came out. I had a pitcher that got drafted the year before I came out. I was a fast black dude that batted lefty, drag bunt.
Yeah.
I was a 6'4", 60 guy. I can track all of the balls in the outfield. So, back then, people was just intrigued about my athleticism, right?
Yeah.
And so they teach everything else. I went to Carolina to do both. I was academically ineligible to play my true freshman year. Went there, partied, had to adapt to the academics. Carolina is hard academically.
Yeah, it is.
So I ended up flunking some classes the fall, which didn't have me eligible to play baseball in the spring. And so I had to sit out a whole first year, right? Second year, redshirt freshman year, I intercepted 13 passes. The first year I played football at Carolina.
Yeah.
I tried to go play baseball after that. We went 10-2. I made every All-American team. And then I go to try out for baseball after sitting out a whole year. And so that was the worst thing I probably did was, when you transition from high school to college, not throwing any balls, that was tough. And but baseball was my favorite sport. I'm telling you this, part of my football career, the things that I did was because of what I was able to do on the baseball field. And when I got a chance to get out there and play, bro, I was getting out there. I was gonna make it happen.
No doubt.
Right. And it took me a minute to adapt to the pitching and the speed, but it was tough. And but I had fun. But after intercepting 13 balls, Peanut, wrong.
I know where I'm at.
Dude, Carolina baseball wasn't what it is now.
Right.
We were at the bottom of the barrel of the ACC, but it wasn't. I felt like football was my ticket, so I left it alone.
Yeah.
And I pursued football.
You remind me, I went and looked it up. My man, Willie Mays Hayes.
That was me.
From
Major League.
From Major League.
Yeah.
You up there, I'm trying to hit it out, and I'm swinging.
I'm going to swing, coach. I'm going to swing. But my first at-bat was in LSU. Right?
And LSU's always been good.
They were always good. And I was coming from a Walter Camp All-American banquet. I flew straight from there. We playing LSU. Coach pitch hit me on the 3rd inning, right? Mm-hmm. I lie to you not, dude. After sitting out a year and then my very first at bat, dude threw me 3 pitches. It lasted probably 15 seconds. I didn't see not one ball. I'm like, damn, is this dude throwing 100 miles per hour? It was so peanut. The ball came so fast. And I felt like my coach set me up, right? I'm like, dude, how you gonna put me in against LSU? They were a top 10 team. And my very first college at bat, and the dude throwing like 95 miles per hour, going from seeing probably 88, 87 in high school. That's for me, that's when I knew that baseball, I had to go a different direction.
Playing baseball, who would you compare your game to as a player? Like who mimics your game after you?
Okay, so I'm a diehard Mets fan. So growing up, like a Vince Coleman, right?
Yeah.
He was a slap hitter and fast guy. I was a lefty. He was a switch hitter, but I was a guy that can slap it down to third base, shortstop, beat it out. So I would say probably similar to him in the batter's box. In the outfield, I could track any ball, right? And I tell people this, a lot of people don't know this. As a football player, y'all probably didn't think I could, you probably thought I was more quick than anything.
Yeah.
Most guys wouldn't say that I had speed, but I was a 10-6, 10-7 guy in high school. I was very quick in high school. And so I could track balls in the outfield. And so that was, I can't tell you what type of out or who my game resembles in the outfield, but I can go get that ball. So I would say probably in the batter's box like a Vince Coleman.
I'll give you Ken Griffey then.
Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey Jr.
He used to go get it. He used to go get it.
He can track it. I give
Bo
you that.
could too now.
Bo Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bo was explosive. Like I felt like Bo was so explosive. I wasn't that explosive.
So powerful too.
He powerful.
Yeah.
Could you throw somebody out from center field?
That
in the
wasn't
home
my
plate?
shit.
Yeah,
That wasn't, nah.
No?
So I was,
I give you Ken Griffey.
that wasn't my deal.
Yeah.
Right.
What position did you
I
play?
was center field.
Okay.
So the strength of my game, Peanut, was tracking balls, running down balls. So because I can go get it, I didn't need to throw you out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that was kind of like what I go get that thing.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
All right. So another thing that I knew, but not everybody's gonna know, is that you are, and I say are because it never leaves, you are a Jordan Brand athlete.
Yes.
Could you maybe explain how did that come about? I know you guys both went to Chapel Hill,
Right.
but how did that come about or an opportunity for you?
Well, it was, when I went to Detroit, right? Obviously, I talked about Prime being the guy who I try to mimic my game behind, but MJ, I played basketball as well. Me being a Carolina basketball fan, that coming on TV every Saturday, being from the 757, it was hard not to be an MJ fan.
Yeah.
And so, obviously once he had his own shoe and Jordans were the thing, that was kind of like something that, we all liked growing up. Worldwide West, I don't know if that name rings a bell, but Worldwide West was a guy when I went to Detroit, famous, right? He's right now like president with the Knicks. Worked, with Mike, was one of his tight buddies. You see him in LeBron James commercials. He's sitting courtside at all the games at Kentucky, all of Kentucky. Him and Rick Pitino is tight.
Yeah.
He always at the game, light-skinned brother, bald head. But right now he's the president of the Knicks. He was the one that brought me to the brand. When I went to Detroit my first year, he knew of me being at Carolina, me being the player I was at Chapel Hill, All-American. So, but Wes knew what I was as a college player.
Yeah.
And when I went, and me being a Super Bowl guy with the Rams, when I went to Detroit and made the Pro Bowl, he was, with me being a Carolina guy, he felt like it would be best for me being a brand. And so what he did, he connected me with my mentor, Fred Winfield. At the time, he was the vice president for the brand, who was MJ's right-hand man. But after I played well in Detroit, made the Pro Bowl, Worldwide West was the one that connected the dots. And it's been a marriage, a brotherhood that's irreplaceable. I've never bought shoes for my kids.
Yeah.
Ever since 2004, I've been a part of the Jordan Brand family. With me being here in Charlotte, it's been really, really beneficial. The relationships, to this day, anytime I call Cliff King or I call Fred, if I need a package, they send me a package. They sponsor my teams. When I moved to Charlotte, Roman, got into coaching, had my travel baseball team, had my youth football and basketball team. They sponsor all of that, man. And this is the thing with the brand. If you do right by them, and this is the thing I try to tell these young players I coach, never burn bridges.
Yep.
Do right by folks. If people invite you to stuff, if you tell them you're going to do it, you do it.
Yeah.
Right. And then when you go there, you make sure you be first class when you're doing it. Right. And if you do that, that stuff go a long way. And whenever Fred, whenever those guys invited me to a place and I gave them my commitment, I showed up and I made sure I did what I was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And so that's why to this day, if I need a favor, if I call, if I need some shoes for my kids, they send it because it's all about relationship with those guys.
Kind of like you still on scholarship in a sense.
No doubt
100%, yeah.
That's what I knew and had heard about Jordan Brand. So I'm glad that everybody else gets to know, or at least we get to feel like we're a piece of the brand or the family. What was your first welcome to the NFL moment?
I would say I won the Super Bowl my first year.
I saw it. Yeah.
We know that with the Rams. You just thought it was easy.
There could be no, other than that, a specific play was a welcome to the NFL. I never played. I wasn't really no special teams guy in college, other than returning kicks.
Don't look at me with that.
Just know I'm not the only one. Not all of us are special teams guys.
Don't look at me with that.
Right.
Because he's always on me. I'm not a special teams guy.
Right. Well, I wasn't a special teams guy. I was a specialist. Right. And so I got on the bus as a redshirt freshman because I was a specialist. And so I had to learn once I got to the league how to be a special teams guy. So I was drafted in the second round with the Rams, and these jokers wanted to have me on the front line. Like when you a second round pick, first round pick is going to be, was Torrey Hope, and, he wasn't going to do any of that. But for me, as a second round pick, as a corner, there's other things that you have to do other than just play corner. You know, be a hold-up guy outside on punt return, potentially be a gunner. Potentially back then, be a front line guy on kickoff return.
I did all those things.
And then run down on kickoff. Well, being that Rome, my special team coach wanted to experiment putting me on a front line on kickoff return.
What number were you?
30. I was 4 or 5, the edge.
Okay.
Right, because I was the guy for onside kicks.
Yeah.
I remember one time I caught an onside, like a blooper over the shoulder. But the joke, you remember, it wasn't on kickoff return. Let me correct myself. It was on kickoff.
Yeah.
The front line guy peeled back around.
Ooh. I already know how
so
this
they
is
flashed
going.
you early.
I was the one of the two, and I'm running. He peeled back around, and I'm looking to go make the tackle. This preseason, I didn't do none of this in college. None. I was a punt returner. Never. Dude peeled back around, Roman, got me.
Ooh.
Welcome to the NFL. It was an OG linebacker, peeled back around, and he blindsided me, and it was painful.
Ooh.
And I would say, because I didn't tackle nobody when I was in the league, unlike you guys. That's probably my one mild concussion that I had from playing. I don't think I had any other concussions or anything that I can recall. But I was concussed after that play, and I was woozy, and it was painful.
Did you get the wind knocked out of you? Was it
everything, coach?
Everything was gone.
Everything, dude. And I did not say no. And I still, like, when I got him, like, what was that? I had no clue. Until the next day when I watched the tape. Yeah. When I watched the tape, I knew where he came from. But I had no clue. Because I'm like, there was nobody in front of me or to the left or to the right that was in my vision.
Yeah.
Like, where did he come from?
Yeah.
No clue where he came from until the next day.
It's the funniest thing because that's a special teams move. Like the return teams, they'll flash at a guy early, kind of, and then they'll just peel back around.
Yes.
And they still block the same guy.
Yeah.
But they just just flash you early. You like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then you just keep running down. Then somebody, same person come right back around.
Got me, coach.
That was my on one play.
So that was my welcoming to the NFL because didn't experience any of that in college.
Oh, that's
but best believe if I was back on kickoff, I was that guy running. That's when I knew to play with my head on the swivel.
Yeah.
Right? I kept my head on the swivel when I was out there on that field. Never again. Even on defense, my head was on the swivel.
Yeah.
You weren't going to get me twice. You get me once, you ain't going to get me twice, coach.
I like that. So I got a question for you. My top 3 receivers, Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, and Marvin Harrison.
Ooh.
Who are your top 3 receivers?
You're going to put me on the spot.
I'm going to put you on the spot. And no, let me just say, when I say receivers, all 3 of the receivers that I just mentioned, I'm going to give them their flowers. These guys are Hall of Famers. So
100%. So I'm biased, and I'm not going to put them in my top 3 because I'm biased. My teammates, Torrey Hope, Isaac Bruce, they raised me, right? Yeah. I got better. They made me into the player that I became. as a professional.
I can't even imagine how many spats and stuff they broke at practice. With Oz Hakeem too?
Ricky Pro. So I don't know if you play or coach.
He was only our coach.
Okay, so Slick Rick, Oz Hakeem. I don't know if you remember him.
I do. He was the most scat to me out of all of them.
Yeah, he was cold. Yeah, and Torrey Ho, Isaac Bruce, and then if Marshall come out there and line up. Right, so those are the guys that I went up against every day that prepared me for the guys that I faced. The guys I struggle with, right? I struggle against speed guys who can get in and out of breaks. That Chad Ocho Johnson, Cinco, whatever you want to call him, well, his footwork was.
I agree.
He started like he run his comebacks.
At the top of the route. At the top of the route, he was so good.
Oh, he was one of a kind. But I would say my top, Randy Moss, right? So in 1999, 2000, 2001, I say probably 2002, Moss played that game different. Mm-hmm. He was trying to make everybody like pay for passing up on him in the draft. Like he was scary, right? He had that Michael Vick effect, like as a defensive coordinator, when they were game playing against Vick, they were scared. Whenever we game playing against Moss in the 4 years, when I was in St. Louis, right, they doubled him with every single snap. And Moss' play, he was so explosive on turf. He was so fast. He was nasty. I say Moss is my one, right? The way T.O. went about his business, how he played, I would say T.O. is two. And then just how smooth and crafty, how consistent Marvin Harrison was, he would be my three. So I would say Moss, and I would go with T.O. During my generation.
Yeah.
Just what they were able to do week in and week out. And then Marvin Harrison, professionalism, how he made every route look the same, his tempo, his speed.
Yeah.
He was a guy that I struggled with as well because of how smooth and how he ran his routes. Yeah.
He embarrassed me.
Yeah.
So
Marvin.
Oh, my God. I got Marvin early in my career. Like my second year, I had a good rookie year. So the second year we play him, and I'm thinking that I can just try to jam him in cover two. I couldn't touch him. He was so shifty. I couldn't even touch him. Marvin is on my list. Like, dude was just so shifty and crafty. He just embarrassed me. Made me realize quick, I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Humble me. Definitely humble me.
And there's a few other guys, because when you're talking about the greats and the guys doing, it's names that get overlooked. And I want to make sure they got their flowers as well.
No doubt.
Chad, Steve Smith.
Yep.
Those are guys. Steve was you played with Steve.
Yeah.
And y'all, I knew you guys had a man. He was a man among boys as well. He was a guy I had to go to before a game, make sure everything was okay.
Yeah.
Make sure, check on his family, make sure he's smiling and laughing and making sure he wasn't mad at me.
Yeah.
Because, if Steve mad at you, it can be a long game. It's just going to be long. And making a Pro Bowl with Steve, we kind of was good. That helped. So he knew who I was. He knew I wasn't like some of these other guys.
Right.
Well, I'm going to get personal and I'm going to do all that extra stuff. I'm about that brother, that brotherhood, right?
Yeah.
And so, but still with Steve, you got to go to him before the game to see what mood he in and make sure we good. Because as a corner, like when the ball is going backside, and I'm trying to get to the ball to make sure you play with love and make sure I ain't getting that loaf. And you got a backside receiver trying to block you up the field and prevent you from getting to the ball. Just being too extra. Steve is one of those guys. He has the potential to be that guy, right?
Yeah.
So that's why with him, you going to make sure that the conversation, make sure we good, make sure he ain't heard nothing or he read something that I said. So I had to make sure we were always good when I played
all
him.
the listeners out here, these are all great veteran tips right here. You know what I'm saying? From DBs to just show like, hey, just butter them up a little bit. Because I don't want to get that loaf on tape on Monday.
Coach.
Just all
bro, they don't understand this.
That's all it is. That's what you're talking about, that plus
You don't understand. So what I did, this is what I did every game. I go to the opposition, the receiver. I go make sure we good. Talk to him, check on his family. Want to know how the season's been going. Just make sure. I'm not going to go presses, but that was my tactic. Right before I went to go, try to slice your throat. Because whenever the ball was in the air, Peanut,
it's yours.
It was mine. Yeah. That was my mentality. That's who I've been ever since I started playing ball. But my way to make sure they weren't going to try to block me when the ball went backside and try to cut me and do all that. Because, like if you get up under their skin, they can do some dirty stuff. They gonna cut you, you know, they gonna try to block you, they gonna pull you, grab you if they don't like you. So that was my tactic, you know. I try to make sure we good pregame.
Hey man, that's a good tactic.
There's only a couple guys that I played against that would be like really nice and then try and do something like cut you or something.
Right.
It's only a couple of those guys.
And who was that?
Larry Fitzgerald went up.
There we go.
You and Larry used to be.
Oh my God. The nicest guy. He would come up to you before the game. It's like, oh, Peanut, how's the fam? How's the kids? I'm like, he's actually a nice guy. Then you get in the game, it's like, Larry, what the Right. I thought you just came up before the game. I thought we was.
He's the guy.
Yeah,
he's the guy. Larry was the best at
so good.
The opposite of like, man, really being nice. God, man, how's your family checking on this?
Oh,
then in the game, he'd be like, oh, hi, and then he just try and cut you. I'm like, dude, you 6'4". Why are you doing
all that? That's the other thing, dude. You 6'5".
Yeah, what you gotta do all that?
Go sit your ass down somewhere.
You gotta do all that, man.
Got to do all that. That's a big thing for me. Right.
Yeah. So 2003 Thanksgiving, you had a career game. Had a pick. I love
that party.
I love the celebration. You got that first pick, spun the ball, did one of these, had a little peanut punch.
Yeah.
Saw that.
He did punch that out.
He did punch that thing out. It was nice. It was nice. Then you got another pick.
Yeah.
And then the receiver, I don't know, it was a lineman.
Clothesline.
Man, he came and took your head off.
Yeah, he got me, coach.
Did you even know your helmet came? Like, you were so excited, you didn't even care.
I was so hyped. I ain't feel it.
Because you hit the ground and just got up and took off. I was like,
Yeah, I didn't feel it.
How did you feel about playing on Thanksgiving?
No, it was cool. And so obviously coming from St. Louis, one of the reasons why I went to Detroit was I was looking forward to being the Marshall Faulk, the Isaac Bruce. I felt like Detroit was up and coming with hiring Steve Mariucci. They really valued me coming from the Rams. They had some, Kevin Warren. I don't know if y'all know Kevin Warren, but he's the president.
Yeah.
Or he's
with the Bears.
He was
Bears.
He used to be the commissioner of Big Ten, right?
Well, he was our player development in 1999.
Really?
A lot of people don't know. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Kevin Warren was our player development with the Rams.
Yeah.
He was Dick Vermeil's right-hand man.
I didn't know that.
A lot of people don't know. Yeah. But he's a guy. So he went to Detroit. He left the Rams and went to Detroit as the president of football ops or something like that. Well, he had a lot to do with myself being there. He was the one that attracted Detroit. They turned them on to me and Isaac Hakeem as well. We both left the Rams and went to Detroit. And going to Detroit, bro, I was waiting to be that guy. And I felt like that one game, like I had a great start. My first game in Detroit, played Arizona, had a pick six. But still, we were the bottom of the barrel being the Lions during that time. We just weren't winning a lot of games. Right. After that Thanksgiving game, Peanut, playing in front of the world, where there's only 2 games on TV, and ended up beating Green Bay. And another trivia question, I don't know who you intercepted the most, but Brett Favre, I intercepted him the most out of any quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Having those 2 picks against Brett Favre on Thanksgiving Day, winning that game, that elevated me. It was amazing to play in Detroit. It was for me. It was my coming out party.
He's the second guy intercepted the most. Eli Manning's the first guy. I got the most picks on Eli.
2 good ones.
Two great ones.
Yeah.
Oh my God, 2 good ones. So I got a question for you. Actually, I don't. You're up.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you. Where were you at on the last play of the game in Super Bowl 34?
I was on the field, so I was the right corner.
And for those that don't know, we should be able to show it because we have a YouTube channel now.
Right.
So it was the last play right when Tennessee got stopped. Right there, right there on the goal line.
Mike Jones made the tackle.
Yes.
It was Kevin Dyson.
I
think they might have been in 2-by-2 spread. I was the right corner. I think my guy ran a pivot route.
Yeah.
Pivot outside, came in and went back out.
Was he open?
Nah.
Okay.
Of course I'm gonna say that.
That's a great answer. Of course he wasn't.
He wasn't open. But I was on that play, man. And I'm gonna tell you that people ask me about that game, and this is the thing why I tell, now that I'm coaching, you value every moment. Because it's hard to be, people don't understand what it takes to be great, to be number one, and how hard it is to be number one, and how hard it is to get back. That last drive, I felt like it lasted an hour.
Yeah.
Slow. Every play was slow. I dropped a pick that last drive. It wouldn't have counted. Kevin Carter jumped off sides, but still, it was a crossing route, and Steve threw it back across his body on a crossing route, and that was the right corner, and I undercutted it, and I didn't drop many, but I dropped it. But still, when I look back on that play, I'm like, dang, I have a chance to have a pick in the closing moment of a Super Bowl game. And the week before, people don't know this, Tampa Bay, I got the pick. They gave us the ball at midfield. Next play, they threw it deep to Ricky Pro for the touchdown. Having a chance, just thinking about it, back-to-back weeks, the NFC Championship, Super Bowl, getting the pick. It wouldn't have counted, but when you look back on it, I'm like, dang. But that last drive, bro, it was 2 minutes, but it felt like an hour. And just winning that Super Bowl and how fast it happened and then how hard it was to get back. I played in 2 Super Bowls in my first 3 years. You lost one. You lost one. You won one. Did you win?
I lost the one in I lost, was it 41 in 2006.
But I lost to Tom Brady in 2001, his first one. And playing in 2 of my first 3 years, I thought it was easy to get back. I thought like just not cherishing the moment, like making the most of the opportunity when you're in it. I never went back to the playoffs after that.
Never went back to the playoffs?
No, bro. Rome, I tell people this story. Like my first 3 years, I played in Super Bowl. I played in the playoffs. 2 out of the 3, I went to Super Bowl. I won one, I lost one. After I left St. Louis in 2002, I never went back to the playoffs. Never. You understand what I'm saying? So when I tell
vacation early.
Vacation. So when I tell people when you in the
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I thought it was easy to be number one. I thought we were going to easily get back. So that's why, like, when I look back on my career, when I look back on the things I've done, like when I see people getting fired from going to winning, going to the Super Bowl, going to the NFC Championship game, going to the playoffs, winning 12 games, college coaches, like, what are we doing? Like, do you understand how hard it is to be number one? And I'm not saying you shouldn't have the expectation or the standard of being number one, but shoot, like when I can sit here and say I went to 2 Super Bowls, and I'm damn proud that I went to 2 Super Bowls. Won one, lost one. You got people that's disappointed that they lose. I get it, but they losing jobs behind it. And what are we doing?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want to be successful.
Yeah.
Like if you play 10 years and you win, you go 12-4, 11-5, right? When you win, you be like, dang, I ain't win the Super Bowl. But 40 years, 30 years from now, when you're done, you can say you was a winner and not a loser, in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And so I see people all the time, man, like they disappointed with their performance when they win 12 games and go 12-4, and they feel like they failed. In a sense, you did, but really you didn't. It's hard to be good. It's hard to be a winner. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
And so, like, I just think where we are now, Peanut, like, when we look back on our careers, on what we've done, we were damn successful. We did some really good things, right? We ain't leave nothing on the table. There ain't nothing to be ashamed of. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
And we don't, like, I just think, like, we strive for excellence, to be number one. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but we so hard on ourselves that we can appreciate the moment and enjoy what we've really done.
Yeah.
Do you actually forget how to enjoy the ride?
Right.
Versus, like, because you said it earlier, just you words, like, man, I wanted to be my time. I went to Detroit because, in my impression, they were a team that was coming on the rise.
And they needed me.
And they needed you.
100%.
And then you go there and you're like, dude, I never made the playoffs again.
Never made it.
That is crazy to me. I didn't know that.
And so I look back and I'm like, damn,
It is a hard pill. I did not know that.
I should have stayed in St. Louis.
Yeah.
I might not have made as much money. I might not have been a Pro Bowl caliber player. You know what I'm saying? Like you have those, but at the end of the day, would you rather be a winner? Would you rather have those
the wins or the money?
Right, but those are the things that come in your mind, right? And so when we see people that lose jobs or be disappointed about winning 12 games, winning 11 games, going to the playoffs, right? And they not happy with their performance. At the end of the day, you want to be successful. To me, that's success.
Yeah. Was Lovey was there?
That was my DC.
Awesome.
Ron Meeks. I don't know if Meeks was your core DB coach, but I had Lovey. Yeah. And to me, that's when my game took off. Like we talk about the peanut punch, right? Like you need to patent that, bro. Like
I tried.
Look, but listen. Your name is talked about in all meeting rooms as a coach. We got drills, the peanut punch drill. I just did one the other day. We teaching the peanut. I'm like, man, you gonna break your damn hand trying to do it. Like you got to be like, you got to know what you're doing now.
Yeah. You do need to know what you're doing.
You can't just practice it all the time, bro. Like you gotta be like the ball carrier. You gotta give him something to hit.
Yeah.
Because if you got that thing tucked, like you gotta be real, and like when you practicing this in practice, you can break your hand.
You can. Most
you know
definitely.
what I'm saying? But you made a lot of plays, but I had to go look it up because I learned how to I got 20 out, right? I caused 20 fumbles. I learned how to practice or get the ball out because of Lovey, right? And Neas Williams, who's my big brother.
Love Neas.
That's when I really took that next step as a corner because I knew how to prepare. Well, Neas practiced every day on getting the ball out. Us looking at Tampa, Tate, Rondé, those guys, D. Brooks, how they practice. I caused 20 fumbles. I had a Woods. It was a few guys that I felt like can do it, right? And guys I looked at, guys I admire how they did it. Wood, I admire how he got the ball out. He tackled the football, whether he punched it. I got beaters, right? I didn't necessarily have to, but that was what I did. Sometimes I punch, come from the back.
Yeah.
Sometimes I come with the heavy hand. But how you did it, man. Like I applaud you on how you did it, man. And what you did, how you played the game. Like I was a fan. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you like this. Like I think this generation don't know enough of the guys that came before them. Harp, I know you like you a student of the game. Like you was a physical dude, bro. You was a leader, right? I love how you got guys lined up. I love your approach to the game. Those are the things I tell my players I coach, right? How to prepare, how you communicate, like the way you guys went about it. Those, like when I'm coaching, you best believe I'm making sure these players respect the brotherhood and doing it the right way, right? Because the way we was taught a certain way. So I want to make sure these guys get this information when I'm out there coaching.
Sounds like you're doing a good job. I appreciate
doubt about
that,
it.
man. I'll take them flowers.
So you're talking about what you're doing and the coaching and stuff. I want to know what you did in between that. Because it's like this break in Dre Bly's life that we got some question marks. I want to fill in the blanks for the viewers and for myself.
Well, I moved to Charlotte when I retired. Got 5 kids, 4 boys and a girl. And, my 2 boys, man, athletes kind of, got me along the lines of being, dad, coaching and taking them into practice. And so got involved here in Charlotte deeply. I wanted to surround my sons with the best, right? Create an environment for my sons where they can go be successful. Moved to Myers Park, realized Myers Park was a great school, had a lot of talent. A lot of inner city kids that was leaving. So I wanted to create an environment where these guys stayed. And so I created a youth football organization with a guy named Roger Ferguson, was able to recruit some kids. And then I started a youth baseball organization as well with Tony Womack. I don't know if y'all know Tony.
I know Tony.
So Tony
you
and
can
I,
play some golf too now.
Yeah, Tony and I. So me and Tony partnered up for the baseball, and me and a guy named Roger Ferguson partnered up for the football. Through me and Roger's brotherhood, and so we started this youth football organization called the Hammer Down Tar Heels. We fed all those kids in the Myers Park. Through all of that, Rome and Peanut.
I remember your son's senior year. How many guys y'all sent off from that team?
So I was able to get Drake May.
Yep, Drake May came in.
Got Drake May to come over to Myers Park. His dad, they fellow Tar Heels.
Yep.
I was able to, Moose Muhammad's son, was able to get him to Myers Park.
Yep.
My son, Trey, my oldest, at Myers Park, in his 4 years or 3 years of playing at Myers Park, he was like 35-5, lost in the semis. Like we created a really strong environment. And on the baseball side, right, my son played baseball as well. I was able to create an environment baseball-wise through Tony Womack, where I was a GM and he trained my guys, but I had the base baseball team, one of the best in the state, travel baseball team, Carolina Black Sox. I was able to get Sam Howell on my baseball team.
Oh, right? Yeah?
So that's when I realized I can recruit and I need to go coach. And so Fred Winfield, this is how I got into coaching. He was like, dude, you need to go coach, bro. He was like, this window is closing, but you need to get into this coaching. He like for a guy like yourself, you got to get in while your name is relevant. But you have a passion for this coaching, mentoring kids, guiding, and he said, if you want to pursue it, you need to go dive in. And so that's when I reached out to my relationships in the league, Mike Martz and some of the guys that I knew. Because the one thing they say about us, Peanut, Roan, that we don't want to put in the time. Right? Y'all hear about the crazy coaching hours that is required for us to be successful. And a lot of us, they don't think we have it in us to do it. And so I wanted to go see before I dove in. And I did an internship with the New Orleans Saints.
Yep.
With AG and Sean Payton. And
first
Dan
time I got to meet you.
Right, did that. Peter Genta, who was the senior DB analyst there, senior assistant, he was my DC with the Rams. Did that. It wasn't too much for me. I love how AG went about his business, the professionalism, the energy he brought to the field. Sean Payton, if you can handle his schedule, like you can handle any schedule, because Sean P is detailed, staff meetings, you work, right? And for me, it was good, right? As long as I was doing something and competing, I was happy. And then that following year, I did Miami Dolphins with Adam Gase. He was in Detroit with me. So I did 2 minority internships back-to-back years. After I did that, I knew I was in. And Mac Brown, who was one of my mentors as well, had been in touch with me. Was following me. He was my coach at Chapel Hill. Was following my progression here in Charlotte, was seeing the people I was connected with, me being a fellow Tar, me being a Tar Heel. Right. I mean, there was no place in North Carolina I couldn't go and not get in the door, right? True. And so he knew when he got hired that I was going to be able to recruit, right? I'm from the 757. I'm from with Vic and D Hall. We all from there. So he knew I was going to be able to take over the 7-5, which I was able to do. And so that's when I got into that coaching, man. Fell in love with it. Yeah. So I was able to, Josh Downs, I don't know if y'all know, he's my nephew. That's why he went to Carolina. Me and my wife both went to Chapel Hill. His mom, which is my wife's sister, his parents went to NC State. So Caleb Downs, the guy at Ohio State, that's my nephew. So we was able to create an environment. I fell in love with it. And, for me, it's the giving back part, right? All the stories that we got, all the things that we did good and did bad, I can give this information to my players to help us be better than us. And so that's why I coach.
So I know you're at UNC Charlotte right now, and you're the defensive analyst, not just a coach, but like, what does that entail being with that title, defensive analyst?
Well, when the opportunity presented itself, my son is there. Okay. So my son went to school there. Last year he was a GA, Trey. But he was a GA there last year, and he didn't have the best experience as a player. He's undersized. You know how it is. They want every corner
to look like
Peanut. They want them to look like you, Peanut. They hate on us, dog. They want every coach's chalkboard. They want the Joker to be 6'2", 205, 6'3". Like, they want them to look like you. I'm like, coach. And if they don't look like, they don't think he can play. Right. I'm just saying,
you can't even coach him up.
No, like they want the Jokers to look like you, right? And so this is why, because it's less coaching, it's less teaching. If they look like you, right? Mm-hmm. And so, but my son, saying he 5'7", 5'7.5", 5'8". He was a speedster, but he was, his weight wasn't, he was small at the time. And so Biff came in, who's the head coach at Charlotte.
Yeah, I like that guy. He was
very successful off the field. Yeah, he owned the hedge fund. I don't know if people know this, but, not to put his business out there, but he's, he can buy NFL teams. Yeah. Right? That's how wealthy this man is. And he was very successful as a businessman. And so he gave my son opportunity, and I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Right? Because of who I was, he wanted to hire my son as a GA because he was a coach's son. And what I did in the game, and then what my son has earned the right, he's a good student, right? Very smart, very intelligent. But he hired him, and then based on the year he had last year and how happy my son was, and my son was miserable in his 4 years at Charlotte because of the things he had to go through, COVID, him being undersized, him not getting to travel ever as a scholarship player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. In this profession, they can make a kid quit. Yeah. Right? And
a lot of times, some of these coaches in today's college, they want you to quit so I can get that scholarship.
They want you to quit. It's just different. It's different.
It's just
and
completely
just
different.
me being a father, you know, like I'm not no daddy ball dude. You know, you got to take your medicine, right? But still, when they messing with your kids, they're messing with you.
Oh,
right. And so, but how Biff treated my son, the opportunity he gave my son, I appreciate it. And, but just those are the type of men I want to be around.
Yeah.
Successful men, guys that's very secure in who they are. We're a threat to a lot of people because of our success on the field. And Biff, you know, has been very successful in the business world. He know what it takes to build an enterprise. And he presented an opportunity for me to come join the staff. At the time, it wasn't really a lot of, he just wanted me, right? He said, you can be whatever you want to be. I'm like a special assistant to Biff.
Yeah.
Working with the DBs. I'll be able to recruit anybody I want to recruit, right? And so that's what I mean. Like I recruited the best of the best. So I'll be able to go into Virginia. I'll be able to recruit anybody here in Charlotte. So what Biff got going on, I think the opportunity that presented to me here in Charlotte, it was an opportunity for me to slow down, be with my family, be with my son, and I jumped on it.
Yeah.
For me, levels don't matter.
Yeah.
Done it all.
Yeah.
Just having a chance to mentor, coach, teach, and be happy was more important than anything.
So going from, and that kind of leads into my next question, like your journey from college coach as an intern, then you're in college, then you're back in the league, and then you're back to college. Like out of those experiences that I just mentioned, which been like the best one?
Well, I mean, sure, I was able to do something in Detroit last year.
Okay.
That as a player, I mean, we made history.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the NFC Championship game. And to see how happy Detroit was, to see the excitement we brought to that state, to that city, to see the job that Dan did, that AG did, and to be a part of it, it felt good, right? To see the Ford family smile and happy because, again, I'm part of that Ford family, right?
Yeah, you played there.
I did something good when I was in Detroit. So Bill Ford, he ran the team when I played with the Lions. His son used to run in the locker room, right? To see Mama Ford, to see them happy, smiling, to see Sheila, right? To see those guys happy, it meant something to me. So I think what we did last year in Detroit was memorable. To be a part of that, I was there. You know, I lived in Detroit 5 years of the last 20 years, right? And so to be a part of that was pretty cool. But, you know, being in Chapel Hill, right? I mean, we did something also good at Chapel Hill. We fell a little short, but I'm not going to discredit what we did.
Right.
I mean, Sam Howell and Drake May, two of the greatest quarterbacks ever in school history. I recruited them. Right? My nephew, Josh Downs, one of the most prolific receivers ever to come to Chapel Hill. That's my nephew.
Yeah.
He went to Carolina because I was there. To be a part of that, to help Mac do some of these great things at Carolina, to go to an ACC championship, we fell short.
Yeah.
To go to an Orange Bowl. I played on some good teams at Carolina. We were so good, Hart. Peppers had the red shirt, right? People don't know
he was
this.
playing tight end at first too, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
but he couldn't get on the field because we were
Couldn't get on
good.
the field, yeah.
We had Greg Ellis, right? Vonnie Holiday. He couldn't get on the field. But we never went to a Lions Bowl or won a championship. So I'm proud of that.
And I give you credit because Detroit showed out for the draft too.
Yeah, them boys.
Detroit showed out. The city.
Dude. They got some players, dude.
Yeah. And
I was happy to see those guys. They went and got your boy from Bama. They took another corner. They brought in 2 free agents.
I was just happy for the city itself. The city was...
It was beautiful to be around.
Yeah, it was a great buzz. It was a great atmosphere.
Good energy.
Yes.
And it was, I believe it was the most people when they, you know, cause the draft, it always travels or it moves every year. It was the most people they've ever had.
You played in Detroit a lot. How was like, and you like...
It was dead. It looked like a ghost town when I was there. Like
when you was playing?
When we played, like a lot of the buildings were abandoned. It was...
I'm talking about in Ford Field. Like, so we averaged probably 3-4 wins a year, and that stadium sold out.
Oh, it was crowded all the time.
Yeah.
Really? Faithful fans.
So I went
faithful
there,
fans.
The last time I played there, crazy. Joey Harrington was on our team.
You played with Joy?
Yeah, in New Orleans. He was there for a year.
Oh, wow.
And that was the year Detroit went 0-16. Yeah.
And that was my first year.
2007 or 2008. Whatever that was, we got him. And we're winning pretty good. And it was like quiet town in there. Like you could hear conversations in the stands and you could hear people like, we want Joey. They want to see Joey Harrington come in the game and do for them what I guess they had done, what he had done for you guys, which wasn't much. But bottom line is this, that was the only time I got to be there. I actually liked Detroit. I thought Detroit really showed out for the draft.
I was
awesome.
What was the best? So what was the best place? Because you played in the Super Bowl with the Panthers, right?
And in New Orleans.
Well, you won one. No, you won one. You was when my man 22 had that hot pick, Tracy Porter.
Yes.
Yeah.
You was on that. Yeah, you were. And who was the other safety? Matt. Oh, you played with D Sharp?
Yep. Me and D Sharp was back there. Jabari Greer and Tracy Porter. Malcolm Jenkins was a rookie.
Yeah. So I thought. So was he the nickel?
Yes.
He was a nickel.
Yep. We had them all out there, bro. We was balling.
What's up, dude?
Yes.
And what year was this for you?
2000. This was year 4.
Year 4.
Contract year.
Ooh, yes.
Real good year.
Yes. But we got the CBA lockout, so I couldn't get paid. But we're not going to talk about that today.
We'll do that off camera.
Yeah.
I'm going to interject on right now. Mount Rushmore, who's on your personal Mount Rushmore? You've had a lot of success just throughout life, you know, from high school, college, NFL, right now coaching, you know, in your second act. Who's on your Mount Rushmore?
I would say I heard you ask that question before.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, MJ, right? Just so instrumental in my life as a kid, as an adult.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't like this is the thing, like what TD said about MJ, like when you in his presence, or what I think what one of you guys said, like, you know, you kind of get starstruck, right? You don't want to be like no groupie and anything, like, you know, you just don't, right? You just, you know, like how we are as professional athletes. Like, I ain't gonna sweat you, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we all here, right? But like, definitely, he's been instrumental in my life, and the relationships I've accumulated from him. Fred Winfield, he is my mentor.
Yeah, Fred's
I got a great deal of respect for Fred. I call everything that I do, any major decision I make, I call Fred.
Yeah.
Right. And so I would say MJ. I would say Prime. Right. Talk to Prime. Love Prime, man. I follow Prime. Everything Prime does.
Yeah.
Right. Just how he moves, his energy, everything that he did as a player, I try to do. I tell my players now, find a player and try to emulate him. Right, that's what I did. I used to practice his stance, quick jam stance, peanut.
The one when he had the track stand, the stagger foot, couldn't nobody do that. I don't know why.
I'm a wide base guy. Like my 43 picks, I palmed every one. I primed. I lost one too. I lost one.
You
like,
wasn't
one
talking
yeah. So my man receiver name with Falcons.
Roddy
White got me, dog. When it's San Fran. Got me, and it was bad too. I'm so you can look it up.
I will.
Every pick that I got, I raised the ball.
Oh, it'll get played.
So Prime, MJ, on my wall, Kobe.
Yeah.
So I got the guys, Kobe, right? And then I would probably say coaching wise, Dick Vermeil, he drafted me.
Yeah.
What Dick represents as a coach, how he interacts with his play, how relational he is with his players. Those are guys I admire.
Yeah. All right. In 30 seconds or less, tell me about Dan Campbell as a teammate and now as a coach.
Animal. I like how he leads. People ask about 30 seconds. People ask about the number one quality as a coach.
Yeah.
It's the ability to lead. It ain't about X's and O's. The way Dan Campbell leads is phenomenal.
I agree.
You can't compare it. Guys run through a wall for him. It means something to him. And that's what I admire about how Dan coaches, and that's why the players play the way they play for Dan, because his ability to lead.
Hey, man, appreciate you. Blessing us.
No, that's
Appreciate you guys, man, and y'all keep up the good work, man. Like, when they told me, I haven't had a lot of conversation with you, Rome, my bruh, my Omega Psi Phi brother.
True.
I'm a fan. I looked you guys up, and I appreciate the work that you're doing. Like, we need this.
Yeah.
As players, right? Just to, because when we leave, this is the thing, we don't do a good enough job with checking in.
Yep.
Right? And this is how we check in. Like, I ain't seen TD in a minute. And I had a lot to do with him while he's part of the brand.
Mm-hmm.
He asked me, like he said, right? And so it was good to see his fate. This is my fellow rude boy right here, Trey Boston, fellow Tar Heel, my young boy. When he was at Carolina, I used to come back and see him. All right, I follow him on social media, see all the things he's doing coaching, see his son, see him doing the little ladder drill. I see all that. I see it. I don't know when the last time I seen Trey.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This allow us to be able to stay connected. So I appreciate it.
Oh, man.
No doubt, dog.
I received that.
I
Thanks, Dre.
appreciate it, bro.
No doubt.
Appreciate it.
Dog.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm going to go watch my son. My son got a play.
Yeah.
All right, well, sit your butt back down so we can get off the show correct way.
It's going to take 2 seconds. It's going to take 2 seconds.
I did the same thing TD did, huh?
You did.
Hey, he set the tone.
Oh, well done.
Get us out. Get us out, Peanut.
All right, look, I'm Peanut Tillman. This is the NFL Players Second Acts podcast. That's Dre. That's Rome. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all. Watch us on our NFL YouTube channel. Share, like, subscribe, follow. We can't thank y'all. Without y'all, the show ain't nothing. We appreciate y'all.
And like Dre said, we need this.
We do need this. iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts. Come check us out. NFL Players Second Acts podcast. We out.